Hello everyone. Today I'm going to talk about our homemade night light mountain bike kit. So if you go online and you look for a high wattage LED light kit, you're probably going to spend over $200 easy. Some go up as high as $300 or $400. We're going to create a do-it-yourself light kit for $100. This is a soldering light kit, so it does assume you have a solder, flux, and know how to do soldering. But everything else, for the most part, is plug and play. If you don't know how to solder, you would replace the soldering steps with crimp tubes. But I will not be going over that today. So my friend and I are making two different kits. We're using a 3000 milliamp 12 volt battery, 18 watt LED paired lights. I will be running SAE wires between the battery and the lights. He'll be running full DC with some customization. So to start, I'm going to start right at the very basics. I bought a used fat bike. It didn't come with a bottle cage, so my first $4 went to a bottle cage. You can save $4 if you already have one, but I needed a bottle cage. I then got a bottle cage toolkit container. This is where the battery will be stored. So this is just a basic container. I'll drill a hole in the top here to allow the power cord to pass through, and I'll have some lining in here to ensure that it doesn't rattle and to provide some warmth retention. So you can see that battery fits right in there. Rattles around a little bit, but for winter fat biking is what I'll be doing. I'll be wrapping this in a cloth to provide heat retention, hopefully give that a little bit longer battery life, and to remove that rattle. So this is the battery itself. It's a DC powered 12 volt 3000 milliamp battery. It has an on-off switch, a USB connection, charge your phone or other accessories, and a DC in and out. So this is both the charging port and the power out port. So we're going to connect this battery to these lights using essentially plug and play SAE kit. So the first wire we need is a DC to SAE adapter wire. So this wire will plug into the battery and out to an SAE end here. This wire does come with a polarity switcher. So depending on your battery and your lights, if you want to keep the red power and black ground all the way to the colored leads on your lights, then you put that polarity switcher in line and it will flip that over. The next wire we need is a pigtail or a Y connector wire. So this is going to take single power from your battery and turn it into individual power for each headlight. So again, plug and play. This will go right into there. And we now have two power leads that will go to our lights. Now for me, I'm going to do our first custom step. And I don't want to have to open this tool can to get to my battery box to turn it on and off. But when I'm riding, we ride for over a couple hours, so often we'll stop and turn off our lights, chat, take in some water. So I need an external to the can on and off switch. So I bought a on and off, waterproof on and off switch, and I will put that in line right here. And that will give me an external on and off in my wire. So that will require snipping this wire, threading these back a little bit, and then putting them through the on and off switch. Once that's done, we'll be able to connect our wires to our lights. So I purchased a 5-pack of SAE ends to open end. So again, plug and play. And we have open ends. So these open ends will connect to our light wires. So we have a couple things here. I'm going to talk about these for a moment. The first is dielectric grease. Because I'm going to be winter fat biking, I want to make sure everything is as waterproof as possible. I'm going to put that dielectric grease in all of these connections. That will allow the electricity to flow back and forth, but it will seal it from water and other contaminants. The other is a bag of shrink wrap or shrink tube. I ran out of this, so I ordered another pack. It's like $3 and it has 365 of various sizes. When you go to do your soldering, you slip these over the top. You solder your wires, move them back, heat them up, and they will shrink around this wire and make sure that it's tight and waterproof, so you don't oxidize or otherwise ruin the wires that you soldered. So these ends will connect to the lights, and let's talk about the lights. So these are 18-watt automotive LED lights. We have 2 of them. They have the power leads, and they come with a mounting bracket for automobiles. So there's a stud here, and then there's a mounting bracket that would go on your bumper or your bars. In this case, we're not going to use this. So what we're going to do is we're going to take that off. We're going to expose this bolt. Now these lights have a slider. That's nice because when you mount these lights, you can use those sliders to move them apart farther to get more light or closer to get a concentrated beam. So you'll be able to adjust those a little bit to your liking based on this horizontal movement. But we don't need the car mounting. We are going to use bar clamps. So when we attach this light to this bar clamp, this bolt becomes a little bit too long. You can see the size difference between these 2 items. So this bolt is approximately 2 millimeters too long for the handlebar clamps. So you will need to cut this down, grind it, Dremel it, hacksaw it, but remove about 2 millimeters of bolt to ensure that this will tighten down securely to your clamp. So the 3 things that we have to do beyond just plug and play is add in the inline waterproof switch, solder the ends to the power leads on the lights, and shorten the bolt. Other than those 3 things, everything else will be a typical power installation. Now the clamps themselves, these are 1 1/4 inch diameter clamps. They do come with a sleeve. Some of these kits come with multiple sleeves. This one actually has 2, a very thin one and a medium-sized one. I've included them both to make this a little bit more narrow. And these are tongue and groove clamps. And the reason that this is important is if you get a closed clamp, you'll have to take off your grips and your brakes or power dropper levers. And so you'll want a tongue and groove clamp. And you put that on your bar and insert like this. Put the spacer in around your handlebar, and then you can clamp that to your handlebar, mount your lights. Lastly, we have Velcro ties. So once you get this all mounted up on your bike, you don't want to be doing single track at night through the woods to rip off all of your power, or worse, flip yourself out hitting a tree that catches on all of your wiring. So you want a Velcro wire or zip tie wire down. I tend to use Velcro. That way if I want to take and move this from my bike to my son's bike, his bike is red, so we have red, mine's blue. We can color match our bikes. We know fashion's important to mountain bikers and in the woods. Not quite as much as roadies, but still very important. So we have our bottle cage, our bottle container, the battery that goes in the container, the DC to SAE adapter, the SAE Y connector from single to double power. We have a waterproof on-off switch, which we'll put outside of the can and in line before the lights. We have our single adapter to open ends, which will connect to the headlights, shrink wrap, dielectric grease, headlights themselves, brackets, and Velcro. This entire kit is approximately $100 on Amazon. You can get it a little bit cheaper if you go with non-name brand SAE wires. I tend to went name brand, iGreeley and some others. It'd be a little bit less if you already have the bottle cage, but this kit right here is approximately $100. We will put up a buy list, so an Amazon link to a buy list which has all of these items, and we will create additional videos. I'll create a video of splicing in the waterproof switch, of soldering the lights. We've already hacksawed off the bolts. You don't need a video of that. mounting this all on the bike, and then eventually a ride through the woods with this lighting system. So please stay with us. We're going to put this kit all together. We're going to mount it and show you what it looks like and how it works. And my friend will be doing the same with his kit, and we'll have a partner video for the DC power as opposed to the SAE power. So thank you very much, everyone. I look forward to future videos. Thank you much for stopping by.